right, everybody, welcome back to Put Up or Shut Up. It's episode 7. We're here. It's not quite morning time, but I'm going to tell you good morning anyway. My name is Stunna. In case you've never joined us before, I am your host on this point-based debate show. With me today, I've got some all-star cast, actually, and as you can see, they look thrilled and ecstatic to be here. Let's start with Duncan, Thorin Shields. How you doing, Duncan?
Yeah, not too bad. Not too bad. Seeing if Bears can win an episode yet.
Today might be the day. Don't write it off.
I'm feeling good today. I'm feeling pretty good today.
And our rotating guest, Mr. vENdetta, you might recognize him from EPL. He actually founded Room on Fire. What else have you done that's really cool in your life, vENdetta?
Dude, I mean, the list is long. Really, pretty much, we don't have time to actually go through it all. It's really that simple.
I hear you. I understand.
I'm a remarkable man, really, just to put it in short.
The most interesting man in Norway, huh?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Well, you know what? I think we just jump right into it. No need to beat around the bush. In case you've never watched the show before, what happens is I present the question. These guys then present their answer in short form, and then we open debate with a timer of 4.5 minutes. And these guys pretty much just go at each other. So,
can I say one thing first?
Absolutely.
Here we go. Come on.
It has begun
Guys,
already.
It begins.
This is how I naturally look, okay? I'm just going to lay that out there. This is how I look every day.
Okay. No Weisstein around the house then. Okay.
Just take a good look. This is normal. This is... Okay. I wake up, I go to bed.
Your eyes look puffy. You haven't been crying, have you?
I always look puffy. It's just how it's
bad calls.
I'm out. Okay, that's good. I laid it out for you guys. Okay. All right, let's go.
So what you're saying is you did not participate with the Devil's Lettuce, is what you're trying to say out loud.
I don't know any wacky tobacco that you're talking about.
Wacky tobacco. Okay, good. Now that we got the disclaimers out there, I feel much better about the show already. So let's kick it off with the first question. The first question is going to be the biggest disappointment of Star Ladder, and our first. Actually, we're just going to give it to the guest. vENdetta, what is your pick?
My pick is a Brazilian team, and it's Immortals, who are my biggest disappointment for Star Ladder.
Okay.
Yeah, not living up to the hype.
Okay, not bad. Duncan?
Okay, I went with North, the Danish team.
Okay, and Mr. Stromberg?
Virtus Pro.
All right. Well, we're going to open the timers here. 4.5 minutes. You guys take it from here.
All right. Well, I'm going to start with Virtus Pro here. How do you go from winning a tournament to not getting more than 5 rounds in your losses? How is that possible? I know I don't expect them to be as good, because maybe they took a day off, a week off, a month off. Who knows with Virtus Pro? Taz is riding around his Mercedes, having a good time, having some cocktails. Okay. You're not as good as you were before. But you know what? You shouldn't be losing 16-5, 16-2 in 3 matches pretty much in a row and just get knocked out. It's just, ugh.
Okay, right. Well, I went for North because I'll ignore all the shit that Duva's just said. I'll come back to that later. I went for North because when you talk about disappointment, people are initially going to think teams that came last place, for example. But disappointment is just about your expectation and then not living up to that. So if you actually look at North as a team, they're considered a team that should be making top 4s at events, maybe should be even able to win these tournaments. They're so talented. At this tournament, they cruised through the group stages. They've gotten out of all the group stages this year. They got arguably the second easiest draw of any quarterfinal matchup. They got Hellraisers, a team that was actually going to have to pick maps that North liked and still managed to lose in 3 maps. So this is a team that, if you looked at their bracket, should have been semis, maybe even the final, and instead went out to one of the shocks of the tournament that no one even expected to be in the playoffs. So I think that's a huge disappointment. Now, in terms of Bears saying Virtus Pro already did this at the last tournament, mate. What, your expectations were that couldn't happen again? Well, come on, it's Virtus Pro. Secondly, 2 of their losses. I know you tried your answer before, mate. I'm answering now. So 2 of their losses also were to 2 of the good teams. It was SK Gaming, Fnatic. They're good teams. And then lastly, you got to add in, they haven't had a roster change in 4 years. You're going to have bad tournaments.
That's good, though. I like that about VP, that they haven't made a roster change.
Oh, so a team that doesn't make a roster move in 4 years, it's unexpected that they might not go deep in the tournament. Well, man, alive.
16-5.
Okay,
they lost 16-5 to NIP.
Vendetta's pick.
I mean,
Shyama's a good team, right? Okay, come on, Vindetta.
I mean, I don't see how you can actually forego Immortals as the biggest disappointment of Star Ladder, simply because, well, yeah, you bring up North, but the fact is that if you want to think about who actually knocked out North at the last big tournament, that was Immortal. So you would actually expect them to do well going into this. They ended up top 4 at Katowice, been showing, promising form in EPL as well. Just overall a really solid team. FNX going around saying that, whatever team I'm in is going to be the best from Brazil. You can't expect them to come into a tournament like this and not do better. Like, their only wins coming out of this is versus a Chinese shit team and MVP.
But that's the problem. Look at their losses. I mean, 2 of their losses. One was to North. The other one was to FaZe. 2 of those, in theory, 2 of the stronger teams. Okay, the one to CLG is a shock, sure, but that's just a one-off. You can lose a best of 1. Meanwhile, you talk about Katowice. The Katowice result was Henny, the most inconsistent player of all time, having his one good series, which when you use mathematics means that if he actually has such a good series there, yet still has such bad stats for his career, he has to be god awful elsewhere. The expectation actually is that he should be awful to keep that stat line down. Otherwise, the stats would rise. The economy of Henny is bankrupt. We know this.
But here's the thing.
Just because you print more currency.
The Zimbabwe method, it works. But that's the solid thing about, having a guy like FNX, because FNX, ever since he came out of SK, right? If you want to counterbalance the fact that Henny is just a wildly, just a complete roller coaster in terms of whether or not he's going to do anything or not. There you have FNX, being pretty quiet in SK, not really doing a whole lot in terms of, statistical impact. Coming into Immortals, all of a sudden being their star player. All of a sudden FNX have made in Brazil in 2006. Right, you get that to counterbalance the fact that Henny's just a bit loosey goosey, and then you add the fact that with FNX in that team, that actually has elevated the play of the other guys around him. Lucas is playing better for the most part, at least up until Starladder.
Okay,
at Starladder, he was.
I've just got to address.
Yeah. Well, I just want to say
about address VP one last second. I'll take 5 seconds. Here's the thing: you didn't expect VP to be worse. You said it yourself. After they won a tournament, Taz got a Mercedes. He has a car now. He used to have to ride a donkey for 17 miles to get to the offices. Now he's zooming in and out of there. He's out of control. His ego's off the planet, man. He's never been in a car before. But you think? I tell you, Forster, not only that, he can't get petrol. He's got the only car in the country. He has to go 100 miles. Anyway, that's
Duncan,
oh my goodness.
Duncan, didn't that get you banned from that country one time?
I'm never going there again, mate. I'm fine, don't worry.
I just want to clarify, we're talking about the same place.
It's okay. Yeah.
Okay, so vENdetta with Immortals, Thorin with North, and the Bears with Virtus Pro. And again, if you're just joining us for the first time, how this works is whoever presented their argument the best is really, it's up to me and I guess Twitch chat, more so myself. But the point is, we award the point based off who the best argument. You could be completely wrong. It does not matter. But if you sold me the car and I bought it, then that's how that works. Let's take a look at that now, though. If I look at Twitch chat, it looks pretty even across the board. Actually, the Bears coming in hot with one more vote than vENdetta. I guess people just don't like you, Duncan. I don't know what the deal is there, man.
I don't know. A lot of them are probably riding donkeys as well.
Well, all right.
Playing to the crowd right off the bat.
Yeah, right away, you're going to get more votes that way, I think. I could be wrong. Okay, so I'm going to have to side with... I'm going to side with Duncan on this one. I'm going to. I'm going to go with Thorin getting the first point of the show. Don't get discouraged, vENdetta. I know this can be a little tough.
Are we allowed to flame the host for,
absolutely
buying a shit car?
Okay. No, absolutely not. Okay, moving forward. Moving forward.
Okay,
the next question we do have is, who was the MVP of StarSeries? And the Bears won the last point, so you can take it from here, Eric.
I wish I won the last point, but I'll take it anyways. What I'm going to do, I say Kerrigan. That's right.
Okay, Kerrigan. vENdetta?
All right. My pick is going to be Kiyoshima, the problem.
Okay, and Duncan?
I could pick Device from Astralis.
Okay, and open it up for 4.5 minutes, and wait for it.
All right, so
no. Wait for it. Look at this guy. Look, we haven't even thrown the green
flag.
Even
start. You have one job.
4.5 minutes. Listen.
One job.
Everybody but vENdetta can go for the next 4.5 minutes. Go.
I'm going to start off with Kerrigan. I'm feeling good. I think it's good. Okay, Kerrigan, he was, until he showed up with FaZe, FaZe was top 15 team. He came around, immediately top 10. They started doing better, started doing great. This tournament, they won 11 pistols in a row, at least. That's, if you take account, that takes more than just out-fragging people, because then every team can do it. That takes coordination, that takes prep work. Kerrigan has been doing the prep work for FaZe. It's been showing off. They've been adding people like Nico that have been doing well, but it's the form of Kerrigan that made FaZe win this tournament. And it just amazed me. If you watch even the finals match, the strats that were called in the OT against Astralis, is just, he knew the team, he had a chip on his shoulder. He was so excited to win. Just watch the replay. It's so beautiful just seeing him win. And I think Kerrigan was definitely the driving force behind their wins.
Okay, so I'm taking Device from Astralis. Now, first and foremost, you might say, well, they didn't win the tournament. They're one round from winning the tournament. They were at series championship point. So one round doesn't mean you're not the MVP if you were the best player. Now, if you look in this tournament, there is no other player who had performances in every playoff round that were MVP worthy. So other players might have had one in a game or a series. Device, every playoff round that they played in, as in FaZe, quarterfinals, semifinals, final in the Swiss system, he had clutch AWPing, was probably the best AWPer in this tournament. He played his role to perfection. He could get a single kill in a round sometimes, and it changed the whole course of the round. He was a player who won clutches. He ultimately put Astralis at the point where they pretty much almost won the tournament against a FaZe team that was red hot, actually had all their players going off, and Device was the standout player for Astralis there.
All right, so my pick is Kyoshima, and right off the bat, I think an MVP should be on the winning side of the tournament. That's just, otherwise you're not valuable enough to your team, in my opinion. So that's my case for not, picking Device in this scenario. But for, making the case for Kyo, the Bears kind of laid it out nicely for me. The fact that one of the reasons why FaZe found success is because they did so well with pistol rounds. Second best team at the tournament in terms of pistols, their best pistol player, Kyoshima. So already, off to a strong start, and just making your case for why he's so important, why he's so valuable for that team. In addition to that, yeah, sure, he might have not had the most impactful, series during the group stages or early on in the playoffs. Obviously still contributing, not being, a detriment to the team. But as soon as you get to that final part, he is the difference maker. He is the one that elevated his play higher than anyone else in the entire tournament out of the 10 on the server.
Okay.
Which in the end makes the massive difference for it. And if you can show up and make that kind of a difference in the final when it matters the most, then you are the most valuable player for your team at the right time, and that's what matters.
No, that makes no sense, because logically he didn't get them to the final. Therefore, he could never do what he was going to do. Therefore, he couldn't have been the most valuable player, because if you can only do it at the end when someone else did all the hard lifting, sounds like they were the heavy worker. Like, are you one of those guys who your friend tries for like 10 minutes to get the top of a pickle jar off, then you take it and you pop it off and you go, I'm the MVP of the pickle jar? No, he put in the arm work. He did all the work. You just popped it off at the end.
But the thing is, if you don't have that guy to do it at the end, to do the final lift of it, you're still going to be an idiot just trying to open a pickle jar for the next 5 years, right? You're not going to get it open eventually. You need that final guy to be the puzzle.
By your own logic, if that guy at the end is the only one there, you'll never have a pickle jar open either. So actually, both people are essential. So if there's a guy like Device who was opening the pickle jar and then got it basically almost off like that, and the other guy just came along and only moved it a millimeter, then which one actually was better at opening the pickle jar overall?
In this scenario, it would be Device trying to open the pickle jar and Kyoshima
let's stop talking about pickles
pretty
for a
much
second.
stomping the fuck out of the lid.
Let's come back to Counter-Strike, guys.
I saw Kyoshima play
no pickles
in the second round in the semi-finals against Hellraisers, and there was no MVP performance there. I saw nothing that was an MVP from that guy there. As everyone said already, the team won every single pistol round. He wasn't doing that all by himself. In terms of Kerrigan, there's no such thing as strats that win every pistol round. Otherwise, guess what? Those in-game leaders were the highest paid people in all of Counter-Strike.
If you notice,
the idea that an in-game leader made you the MVP, no. That's just an abuse of language.
That's the whole thing about CS these days, is having that good in-game leader. You look a lot of top team talks. There's always missing an in-game leader. Like they're always looking for an in-game leader.
That's good, right? Yeah, Bez, write it on a piece of paper, put it in a bottle, throw it in the ocean, it'll come to me.
Everyone needs a good in-game leader, and it's the prep work and everything that leads up to the tournament. It's not that you get 5 good people and then they just hop in the server and shoot and kill everybody. Then you see other teams, but it's the same consistent teams. They have a system.
What is this? Continuation and the foul. What's going on? It's 0-0-0.
Listen,
I had to finish it.
Bears.
You guys talk about pickles for 2 minutes. I have to end my 2 cents. Okay.
Listen, that's a top quality filibuster. You
guys are
can't
filling.
mess that best.
The pickle. I think the pickle debate was actually almost as impressive as the initial question itself. So if I could, I'll give you both a point for that. Honestly, because
I'll take it as long as Eric doesn't get any points.
Oh
I'm
my
happy.
goodness!
Look,
the world against me.
it's in the run of show that Eric has to get a point. So we'll see.
I mean, at some point.
We're throwing somewhere.
We'll see how that goes. But no, honestly, we've got the Bears with Kerrigan, we've got vENdetta with Kiyoshima, and Thorin with Device. And this Twitch chat likes Thorin mainly because Thorin could probably argue with a wall and win. It's the weirdest thing. It's a crazy phenomenon. I don't know how it works, but in Thorin's world it does. So good for Thorin. Not how it's going to work for this question. I'm gonna have to give vENdetta the point on this one, just because you sold me the car. Thank you very much. I do appreciate it. You did great. Welcome.
Back in my heart.
MVP is all about stats.
All I'm
going to
say is there might be
everybody.
some problems with that car down the line. So.
All right, fine. You're probably right. It's probably a lemon. Anyway, all right, let's move on. Now, this one, I think this next question really was probably one of the more interesting ones we've had on the show because it stems back.
Good. Hit me with it.
And that question is, what is the worst team to ever make a $250,000 plus tournament playoff? Like a $250,000 prize purse tournament playoff.
I'm so excited for this one.
I love it.
Oh.
Now, who thinks they have the coolest, best answer?
Oh, I've banged all these kids out. Like, listen, I should be put in jail.
Whoa.
Like, there should be a class action lawsuit against me for what I'm about to do right now to the environment of this show. But go ahead. I'm about to frack these
Eric.
kids' asses.
The Bears. Give me your what's your pick first?
I picked Ty Lue from Malmo 2016.
Okay, yeah.
Oh gosh, why are you sarcastic already? This is not good.
Okay, relax.
This is not good.
I liked it. It's a good try.
vENdetta, go ahead.
My pick is Penta Esports from DreamHack winner 2014.
Okay,
Come on,
bam.
That's way too far.
And
That's impressive.
Duncan, please.
Okay. See, I'm very impressed with vEndetta's because, I mean, that sounds great until I say Signature Gaming.
No,
you know that
you
is? Signature Gaming. I win. It's over.
Okay, so
No.
Hold on. Wait.
Time hasn't started. You have been played.
I can just see the frustration right now, and I almost feel like we should just award the point and just go out with it anyway. That is the most
There we go.
insane evil laugh I have ever heard. Okay, start the timer now.
I'll just take this one, boys. I don't want to make you waste your time and your effort and really put in. All I'm going to say is, right, you played yourself because you all went and looked at 250k tournaments thinking, right, 250k tournament, that's a big tournament. That's a premier tournament. You didn't remember that there was WESG at the beginning of this year. That was a $1.5 million tournament and was full of garbage teams. So all I did is pull up the playoffs, look for the worst team in the playoffs, which was Signature Gaming from Thailand. Some of those might even be girls. We don't know. We didn't get any sort of DNA test. And all I'm going to say is they got banged out. They were garbage. And that's how the playoffs went. Now, if any of you would like to waste some effort, dry hump in the air when you're never going to come, go ahead and have a go now.
Well, I guess I'll get
it's a family
little
show. Jesus Christ!
I don't know who Signature Gaming is or are.
Then I win.
But my point for Ty Lue is they somehow made it to playoffs against notable teams once in Malmo. But they lose a lot. They don't make out of groups ever. And God,
okay, that's a good point. That's a pretty good point.
At Signature Gaming. Wow,
dude.
Wow.
No, okay.
What's up, Bears? You haven't got anything to say about that? Okay.
I
Sorry.
want to show something. I want to show something how next level I was with this because I knew this was bound to happen, but I figured I wouldn't be a little bitch and pick fucking WSG teams. So I even wrote this in my email.
I can't see that yet. It says Thorin will probably win, but please change this on the screen using technology to pretend that I got the question. I don't know why you've put that up there. He hasn't changed it, mate. That's like he hasn't done what he asked. He hasn't got that technology. That's the CIA.
There we have it.
Man.
The only correct answer, unless you're going to go with WESG, which is not even a proper team tournament, but is a national team tournament.
Yeah.
It has to be Penta. It's a team consisting of Dennis, Speedy, Robson, Felix, and Crystal.
Okay.
So two of
That's
those
pretty
players.
bad.
That speaks
That's
for
pretty
itself.
bad.
Listen,
but
let's do this like it was a real question, okay? And I already won what I said first of all. So what we'll do is I'll address your points and rebut them. So what you just said there is Dennis and Spiddy. So players who've been in multiple major playoffs. In fact, you're talking about a major right there. They've also been top 4 at E-League. So, these are players who've got a little bit of tenure to them, Also, it wasn't about whether it was a good tournament. It didn't say Premier tournament. It didn't say like top level tournament. It just said $250,000 prize purse. So I believe 250,000 is less than 1.5 million. Now, I don't work for the IRS, so I don't know how that works exactly. And then in terms of the Bears pick, Tai Lu, yeah, that team that beat the reigning world champion major champions to make that playoffs. They are pretty good. Yes, that actually was very good. Yeah, that's a respectable accomplishment. Meanwhile, Signature Gaming. Here's the thing, boys. Here's the thing.
On land,
just only rebut what
barely
you think about
Premier
Signature
Pug
Gaming that wasn't
land.
that impressive. Okay, just tell me about Signature Gaming. Why they're so good that therefore they wouldn't be the worst team. That's all you've got to do. You got a minute 30. You can last that long.
They have to
30, come on, tell me why
qualify for any other tournament. They got to qualify. They don't give a free ticket.
No, they
give
don't.
a free
They just
ticket.
have to get playoffs in 250K or more tournament. They don't. But I realize you thought you could make up the rules. You can't.
This technicality crap is BS.
Yeah. Well,
They need more parameters on these questions.
Yourself to technical sleep.
Signature Gaming. I want a free
It didn't.
ticket.
It didn't
I
even
could have made a
take
team.
4.5 minutes for this one. I think we should have just ended it off in
Yeah.
the beginning. But we got a minute
There's a lot of
left.
salt
You
in
got a
this one,
minute
isn't
left.
there?
I'm going to let you
Come
try
on.
to redeem yourselves, please.
Come on,
Anybody at
vENdetta.
all.
Come on.
I mean, it's a weak fucking pick. If you want to, build a case for Signature, they made it out of fucking groups at least. You got that going for them.
They got that going for
Okay.
them.
And I mean, if you just want to continue to dump on Eric, guess who they lost to? They lost to Tai Lu. So already there,
So that case,
way worse.
in that case, Tai Lu's even better. You agreed. You made a point. Tai Lu's
How do
much
you
better
know
than
this?
Signature Gaming.
Yeah,
so they
yeah.
can't be it.
Well, Tyler's better than that Penta lineup as well. There's no fucking doubt about that.
I don't know.
I mean,
about
honestly,
that. I don't know about that. Tyler's
Don't know about
kind
that. I don't know
of
about
shaky. Kind of shaky.
kind of
But
shaky.
it's not-
Penta
not
doesn't even
Signature
exist in
Gaming.
the fucking realm of international tournaments anymore. They've had about
The only thing
actually Signature
around here is the
Signature
frustration for
Gaming
you guys
has been to
realizing that.
more international
What do you-
tournaments, $250,000 tournaments in recent time
Okay.
than Penta. That's something at least. That's progress right there. They're building
I
onto
mean, you did say
something.
in recent time, so it wasn't about recent time,
building up
was it? So yeah, it wasn't about recent. And speaking of recent time, there's none left. Over to you, Trace.
You're getting too good at this. We got to get you the hell off the show.
Okay.
Duncan. This is getting,
We need
getting a little.
We need different
No, a lot
A lot of people
parameters.
say that. Yeah.
Look, I try to find the
I
best
think-
people in this community to come.
I
at
even
you.
said it. I even said it in the email. It's a cop out to go with WSG because it's a fucking national tournament.
It's okay. I'll
It's
take
not-
the cop out. I'll take the cheap win.
That-
So
Hey
Takes
man,
W.
a W's a
even had it.
W and an L's
You
an
ain't
L.
cheating, you ain't trying,
and
right? Is that how
I'm gonna
CS:GO
fight
works?
dirty from now on. Like when I come back, it's gloves
Aim locks,
off.
guys. Aim locks.
Okay, relax. First of all, you all got bodied hard, and you all know it because at about a minute left on the timer, there was no fight left in you. You were all done. You were laying down.
Well,
Shot
how
on
the fuck do
sight.
you compete with Signature fucking thrust from Thailand?
I don't know.
You have a point, but Thorin, there's no way you don't get this point. Chat loves it. Personally, I don't think any of these guys could say they deserve the point.
I'm an honest
But
man.
you know,
No,
Whatever it is, what it is.
moral victory. I'm the Atlanta Hawks in this one. I won the moral victory.
yeah.
the moral victory. That's usually how it works. Okay, let's move forward because there was nothing moral about how easy that was for Duncan. Oh yeah, my bad. Okay, so our next question will be, and this is also a little bit of a stinger too. This one could get a little fiery. What team should pick up Hiko? And with that being said, we're going to give it to vENdetta first for an answer.
All right. My pick for this is going to be Dignitas, the newly formed Dignitas.
Okay, so an international team. All right. Let's go with the Bears.
I picked no team.
Okay. As in no one should pick him up.
I think.
Edgy, of
I
course.
think.
Edgy.
I think he should stream.
Okay, hold on. Save it.
I'll save it.
Thorin, please.
Okay. I picked Misfits.
Okay. And Misfits it is. So let's get 4.5 minutes up on the clock, please. And you guys can take it from here.
I want to hear from Eric
Misfits
first.
is a team. No, he'll get to that in a second. Misfits is a team that's got a bunch of young players, potential talents, but next rising stars of NA. They've got some older players as well. They've obviously got Sean Gares. Sean Gares has played with Hiko before. They know what each other needs in a team. Hiko knows he's not going to be the star player anymore. He can ride the talent of these young guys, but he can be something of a veteran and shore up the team around them. I think it's a good fit. He's not at that top level at the moment. It's a way to maybe get back up in the scene.
Okay.
So I had a simple, a similar way of thinking about it, in the sense that going to a team where you already kind of know what you're getting into, in the sense of Dignitas. He knows all the players there, and Rubino, Jacob, Michaelilla, and so on and so on. And if you were to remove anyone, I'm not really sure what in terms of how much you're getting from having Pita as an in-game leader in terms of a player. I think you're better off having him as a coach, and you can actually move Hiko into a slot where he actually plays again. And you can actually set up a team similar to what you had with the old C9, where he's actually in a proper lurker role, and it can actually play his proper part to the way he's going to be most efficient. As of right now, or for the last couple of years, he hasn't been able to do that. Joining Misfits, I don't think that's going to do any benefits from in any case, because the Misfits problem that they have currently is the fact that they don't have any entry fraggers. Bringing in Hiko to that equation is not going to do anything for you at all. That's not a problem that you're going to have in Dignitas, because you already have players you can send out first and actually do that brunt work for you.
Okay. See, I like that. Well, I like the approach you took there. Okay, Bears, hit me with why.
Okay, let's go. Okay, so it doesn't matter what team he joins, because he's not going to make them better. He's not going to improve, because the sole reason CSGO, CS, video games, whatever you want to say, it's a mindset. And his mindset right now is he's a businessman. He's streaming. He gets money from that. Why would you go back and play 6 hours a day of scrims, half-assing it, when people are putting 10+ hours in the top teams, while he could be making more money streaming? Okay. I mean, you can't do both. You can't be a full-time streamer and a pro player, because you can't get to that level, because you're pugging half the time.
Well, you see that, but look at Shroud.
Yeah, he's going to get cut soon. He's going to be a full-time streamer for
you heard it here first,
C9 or whatever. So yeah, it's like he can't do it. He can't do it. It's one or the other. All the top players, they don't stream that much. I mean, name a top player that streams as much as Hiko does. He's on a plane in a stream.
Okay.
You see his background? He's in Malibu as he's playing. He's not thinking of Counter-Strike. He's thinking of making money and sitting by the beach, having some cocktails, enjoying his life. He's already been a player. He's over it. He's done.
So, Bears, first of all, the question, again, I like to return people to what the actual question is, because anyone can just answer like 72. Well, that wasn't the question, but 72 is like if you add 10 to like 60 and then you put an 8 on that doesn't work for the Bears. So the question was, which team should Hiko join? So by definition, you must list the team. It didn't say which team would be better if he joined, what would be better for Hiko's life if he joined the team. It didn't say any of these things. It said which team should
be a parameter.
That's not the name of a team. Nope. If there's one thing about the team that you pick, it has to be a team. It can't be no team. By definition, that is the opposite of it. What do you want? Matter and antimatter to meet together and to explode. Anyway, now vENdetta,
it's science. It's science.
Listen, okay? vENdetta said he should join Dignitas, and I love his approach, because what he did when he broke down my answer is prove that the roles wouldn't fit Hiko. Well, I'll go through the roles of Dignitas to show you why he wouldn't fit in those. Okay, so you've got Peter. He's a terrible in-game leader, just like Hiko was when he was in Optic. So they've got that role taken already. Okay, Hiko used to be one of the best players and have insane reactions. They've got Fox. They don't need that. That's already a great player with insane reactions. Makalele is someone who gets hype and doesn't really do much and occasionally gets cut from teams. Oh, Hiko already did that. What are you going to do? You've got two people playing the same role there. Rubino was a world-class support player, so obviously there's no space for Hiko whatsoever there, because you can't even do that. And then finally, you've got Jacob, and Jacob once had 3 kills in a pro match. So, I mean, we've already seen Hiko struggled to get 3 kills in a pro match at times. Remember that half against Luminosity where he had 0 kills? Exactly.
Okay, how about this? How about Hiko can make his own team, Hiko Pals, and then he could have his own team.
Yeah, that's a good pick. Yeah, you've changed your pick, and you've shown that he should join a team. Therefore, you have definitely
he makes his team.
Get him out
he's
the
not joining
his team. 0 seconds.
0 seconds. My point is he shouldn't be playing. He should be streaming. All right, that's my point.
Okay, so just to quickly sum things up here, you mentioned that Hiko covers 3 of the roles that members of Dignitas already possess. Imagine how much money Dignitas could save if they actually kick 3 of those players for Hiko and then pick up 2 other players. But get an improvement from Pita. That can't be too hard.
So your actual suggestion is to kick everyone except 2 players and just have Hiko and
No,
someone
no,
else.
my-
That
no,
doesn't
my
even make
initial-
sense,
my
Vendetta. You've got to have
initial
at least
answer-
5. You're
My
going the
initial
Bears
answer
route,
was
aren't you?
simply
And
just
no
to
players.
kick Pita
Okay.
and get Hiko in there.
Okay.
Easy, nice and easy. Get bench Pita, put him as a coach, do whatever the fuck you want with him.
I
Have
feel
Hiko
when
in.
I'm on this show, I feel like I'm playing that old school board game Mousetrap, and I just catch all these motherfuckers in that little net at the end,
Hiko's pals has a nice ring.
I
to it.
wind that
Hiko's
crack,
pals.
and Bears is trapped now inside there. I've got the cheese. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, so the timer's been long gone. And I just I'm good. I think I'm done here. So I'm just gonna go. Anyway, I think the real MVP for this one, and Twitch chat by far seems to agree. I think it's Eric, man. You gotta get the point, dude.
Ooh, technicality, science.
I don't
take
see
that.
I don't think you've ever brought the heat in a question like you just did. So
I felt it. I was passionate about that. I like Spencer, but I want what's best for him. I think he needs to go that business route that he wants to do, not half-ass both. Don't half-ass both, Hiko.
But I do see from both sides how that could be, it could have been ruled out as a question or as an
No
answer.
comment.
Yeah.
No comment on that one. So.
The thing is, though, I do agree, Trace, that actually he made one very good point, which is that you can't be like a streamer and a pro player. Playing is what will suffer, right? Well, I mean, it's just like when Bears was doing Pro League and trying to simultaneously coach CLG Red. I mean, obviously that wasn't going to work, was it?
Oh, jeez. I just got to watch CS games. Come on.
That's
Brutal.
actually brutal.
Take a point away from him. Take it away.
I was thinking about taking
Penalize.
a moment of silence because that was
Jesus.
that was serious. Okay, let's
That
move
was the
forward.
end.
We've got one more final question here. This one's going to determine which of you two advance the playoffs. I wonder who it could be, but let's check it out. What team that lost in the group stage of Star Ladder will be first to make a roster change? Now, you got the last point, Eric, but vENdetta, what was your pick?
My pick for the team is actually going to change change first is going to be Tyloo, the Chinese.
Okay, and the Bears?
NIP.
Okay, and Mr. Shields.
Okay, I went with the Gambit Gaming.
All right. Well, this could be that hot fire. Wait till we get 4 minutes up. And 4 minutes start. You guys take it.
Okay, so Tyloo, I don't know. I'm not going to comment right now. I'll wait till after Thorin dumps his load on everyone. I pick NIP because when you have the CEO of your company making tweets about no one's safe in your roster, trying to scare your teammates, whatever he's doing, whatever tactic he's trying to do, it doesn't look good. It's going to put a lot of pressure on NIP when they already had a lot of pressure, especially Get Right. My goodness, he needs to take a vacation, to take a break. He needs to get away from CS. He is mentally struggling, and I think he should just, maybe a temporary change. Just change it up. Just sit out for like 6 months, see how you do it, and then move on.
Oh, my boy Eric, you're blissfully ignorant of how patient NIP are to actually realizing their own mistakes and their own faults with their team. And I think that's wonderful that you still have hope. It's endearing. But they don't stand a candle really to Tyloo. Tyloo right now, CSGO is being officially released in China. China already has a fuck ton of investors ready to pounce on that esports train that is CSGO right now, which means Tyloo, who are already pretty flush for cash, are going to have the, pretty much their world as their oyster in terms to just buy the fuck out of everyone in the entire Asian region. They've already started by buying vENdetta out of his contract with Rekka. So with them not having a successful event initially, I mean, I don't really see any purpose with having Mo in the team anymore because he's not calling anymore. So he's probably going to be the first one out the door. Yeah, sure, probably going to get some arbitrary title because he's been a long-time member of the team or anything and get a fat paycheck, but they're going to buy someone who's better. Even if it's from a different Chinese team, if it's someone from any other Asian country, that's the easy route to go. That's how you establish yourself. You just become the Galacticos of Asia.
Okay, so Gambit Gaming is a team that they've had the same lineup now for a solid like 6 months or something, and they kind of plateaued as a team. They were making playoffs, but they never went any deeper. They've never won a big best of 3 over one of the top tier teams, one of the like top 10 type ranked teams. So they're a team that they've kind of seen what this roster can do. And then you look at the CIS talent out there. I mean, there's Tronic over on Flipside, recent addition, very talented player. There's World Edit. There's a bunch of names out there. There's Bondic, obviously, over in Hellraisers. If they ever want to make a change, you got to go and look at some of the Na'Vi players. Na'Vi's probably not that far from a change. If one of them goes, Gambit's got to be a surefire chance to pick that guy up with Zeus, kind of build the new firepower of the team. But then you look at Ty Lue, as you said yourself, they haven't even started yet. They've got vENdetta, but they didn't play this LAN with him. So they're not disappointed with this particular performance. Zoking was fine. He was just a stand-in. They haven't really seen what that lineup can do. And then the idea that Eric thinks NIP is going to make a player change because of their CEO saying that. All I'm going to say is this. NIP's got more CEOs than they've got fucking players. So the idea that they're cutting any of these guys is not happening, is it? Also, that guy saying that, like thinking that NIP is going to make a roster change after one tournament is like thinking your dad actually has taken 19 years to go get those cigarettes. He's coming back.
It's more than one tournament. It's been like 10 of them so far. And
they've only had one tournament since they changed to Draken.
That's true.
Yeah.
But they're not going to change racket. It's going to be more like a Freiburg or Get Right.
Get Right. The way I said them.
You see him this last tournament. Where was Get Right? Where was he mentally? He's like,
I'll tell you where he is, mate. In an NIP jersey, and that's money in the
like,
bank.
Oh my,
bitch.
like 0-14. He's just doing this and in front of the camera, like. There's something not right, and for Hellraisers, or you mentioned Hellraisers, he just signed contracts, so good luck ever getting them out for a while. Gambit, Zeus, he doesn't strike to me. I don't know him, but he doesn't strike to me as a person that would change out players so quickly. I think they're more of a long term, and I mean I don't know about the Russian CS and how they deal with teams, but I just don't see, like. It's been going for a while for Nip. I feel like Get Right needs to go. He needs to take a break.
That's never going to happen. And as for Gambit, I don't think we're going to see a change recently as well, simply because there's not really that much to choose from. If you're Gambit, you're not going to get the pick of the litter. You're not going to get anyone from Na'Vi to join your team. It's very unlikely that we're going to see anyone getting poached from Gambit in the sense that they have to make a roster change because of that. If that kind of a technicality would win you that. Outside of it, it's maybe just Electronic that could be interesting for that team. Otherwise, they don't really have any,
you
real
didn't even
prospects
cite a
to go off
single Chinese player who might join the team.
Well, okay, well, if
there's only a billion
there,
Chinese people, vENdetta. You can't give me one.
I could give you multiple.
Yeah, listen, probably like Mai Lee or something, right? You were just going to guess at it, right? You're just going to make a guess and make a name up and hope I don't know. Well, I don't know. You want a technicality because I don't know anyone Chinese.
Duncan, you're a historian within esports, right? So you might have heard of a certain player called Savage, correct?
Yeah, he plays for Vici Gaming. They hate Ty Lue. They literally did a middle fingers to him and said, fuck you guys.
He plays for Vici Gaming Revolution. Not Vici
they're making a revolution.
Team.
They have to take down the fucking government first. He's going to get run over by a tank in Tiananmen Square. They're playing for him. Join Ty Lue as well.
And by the way, the guy who did the fingers to Ty Lue was actually Zoking, who ended up playing with him at this tournament.
He's a little bitch.
Exactly. Money talks. Ty was the richest
revolutionaries who sold out in the end, didn't he?
Exactly. And who are you going to sell out to? The richest fucking man in the entire region, which is Ty Lue.
It has Dosia. He has the sexual appeal that could attract anyone and make them cheat on their partner. Flamey will probably join tomorrow. We'll give mask on.
Oh my god. I just had a weird image in my head.
Oh god.
Oh Lord. That one took a turn for the weird.
Yeah.
For sure. But both valid points. I have to send one of you through to the playoffs because I do believe that Duncan could argue against himself any day of the week, even on this show or not on this show. It could happen. It would be, I have no idea. However, as per the course of the show, I have to pick one of you to go forward. And if I look at the votes right here, it says 12 for Bears, 8 for vENdetta. Now, hold on.
Ooh.
I could flip a quarter, or I could ask Duncan what he thinks.
Here's the thing, Bears. I knew you a long time ago, mate. We haven't reconnected in that special way, We haven't built the friendship again. We're just people on a show, like characters from Friends. They're not really friends in real life. vENdetta's my boy. Obviously, we go back a while. Been to events, but The problem is Bears has never, ever been in the playoffs. I actually think it would be hilarious just to see what he would come up with. Because the genius thing is, remember, as everyone knows on this show, it's not really about getting the answers right. It's about just bias from Trace and which ones he gives you. So I'm going to turncoat on vENdetta, the heel turn. I'm going from Hulk Hogan to Hollywood Hogan.
Bam.
I'm saying I'm putting Bears through like weakest link style to get rid of the real competition.
That's brutal. That's brutal.
Hold on.
It is. That's right. I know.
Hold on, because I mean, I still have to, pick one. But I really think that's a decent pick. Let's go with. God damn it! This is the toughest decision of my day. I hope. Outside of lunch.
Oh, your day is gonna get a lot worse if you put Eric through.
I gotta be on the desk with
we
you in
we have
about
to work
3
later
hours.
today.
Okay, you know what? We're sending vENdetta. vENdetta's got to go through. That's the way it is.
I did what I could best.
I appreciate it, but I want to
That's
earn again. I want to earn my spot. I don't want to be given anything.
Okay.
Because I'm a
Actually,
proud person.
Eric,
To
no
be
ego, though.
completely
No ego.
honest, I think that this is the closest you've gotten in the public eye to being in the playoffs. So
I like that. Yes.
So,
Very.
well,
It was close. I mean, I thought Tai Lu was definitely a great answer because they're part of the Chinese government and they're going to swap them out like hotcakes. Be like, oh yeah, you guys sneezed wrong. Well, we're going to replace your team, pay the tournaments off, and you're not playing CS:GO ever
My
again
God.
because you wore the wrong pants to our press conference. Get out of here.
listen,
Sorry,
I
I
don't
got a
want to
little
get
carried away.
I don't want to get a
Carried away.
call from any Chinese governments. So let's just calm it down on that.
Okay,
front,
okay, sorry,
So
sorry.
we're gonna go into the rapid fire part here. The thanks to Bears, you know how this works. I'm going to confer with you on what
I'll try
you
my
think
best.
what the better answer is alongside with me. So I'm the judge, you are the jury. Now, the first question, right? Who wins in a round 3 of a finals match between FaZe and Astralis? So the first gun round, who wins? FaZe or Astralis?
trick question, because there is no actual buy round in the third round. Both teams have lost the 2 following rounds. Easy.
I'll just say Astralis then and pick one of the 2 teams. So, okay. Right.
Just pick one of the 2 teams.
my-
It looks like you get FaZe.
My
okay,
solution was to pick one of the teams that could win, as opposed to neither. I see what he's done there. Because I put Bears through, he's decided to take on the role of Bears in the playoffs and try and answer nonsensical stuff to appeal to your humor and basically beg for compassion. But I'll just say, be ruthless and look at who actually gave you an answer.
Easy. Like, none of these teams are able to win multiple rounds in a row. Like, if Astralis wins the pistol and FaZe wins the anti-eco and vice versa, that's how it is. Easy.
Keep going. You got
Then
20
how did
more seconds,
Astralis get to 13-7 in the third map? Logically,
Wait, 2 sec.
the first
2
half was
sec.
8-7.
I need to plug in my laptop, otherwise I'm going to run out of batteries.
Well, there we
Nice.
go. We got
Oh, I see what it is. He has to go and
that's
install
that's a
some
tactic.
shit to be able
Old
to
school
We have a tech
tactic.
pause.
He
We have a
gave
tech
us
pause on the play. I
thought-
tell
Tech
you what.
pause.
He gives
Wait
us-
there
Can-
1 second.
Hold on.
Yeah, I'll be back in a second.
Let's put the timer back to 30 seconds. All right. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna retry this. So vENdetta, you'll have 30 seconds to explain your side, but we're gonna wait for Mr. Shields. I'm sure he's getting a
All right,
scarf
I'm
or
back.
something of
I'm
the
back.
sort.
I'm back.
No scarf? Okay.
Did you plug in your...
Fair's fair.
You had to go skiing.
Fair's fair.
Yeah, I mean, a tech pause is a tech pause. Okay, so we're going to put 30 seconds back on the clock, and we're going to reboot this question. vENdetta, your answer's FaZe. That's just how it works. So 30
Okay,
seconds, go.
It's FaZe now? Okay, well, we're rocking with FaZe. FaZe obviously have, like, the individual talent you want in any sort of dream lineup. You know, you can send out... Actually, you don't even need 5 rifles to win a third round with FaZe. You can send out Nico on his own, and he'll probably do the work. If not, you can always fall back on either Olu or Rain. Honestly, that team has so much firepower and so much to work with, really. And the fact that they have Kerrigan to pretty much play mind games with his old teammates, that, you know, you're at such a big advantage, it's going to be hard for you to lose at that point.
So, okay, I went with the Astralis because that was the other option. I did actually say Astralis first, by the way, everyone, in case that part gets mysteriously edited out. I don't know what happens. NSA, there's a lot of dodgy stuff going on in the Trump administration. So the reason I picked Astralis is because he said the third round, okay? Well, the third round means you could have lost the pistol round, okay? So the third round, you're probably going to be on some kind of a half buy or Tech 9 buy. Astralis has some of the best Tech 9 buys in the game. They have the teamwork. They have the strats to be able to get it off. They win those regularly. Or you could win the pistol. You could win the first and second rounds. Now you're on a gun round. They're one of the teams with some of the best executes in the game. They're consistently putting down numbers. They've got a great team in terms of depth.
I like how you just
I never heard him just cut off like that before.
Yeah,
I thought I had audio problems here for a second. He just cut off.
Yeah, this timer's incredible. We should just start carrying this timer around whatever tournaments Duncan's at, and just like put it around. Okay, so I think because you took a tech pause, we're gonna go with Thorin. I'm kidding. DeBears. Hold on. DeBears.
Okay.
What do you think? Who had the better
Chris
answer?
Webber, this motherfucker.
I think
No timeout slap.
I think Astralis. I think Astralis would have the better. Well, I'm going to say first gun round or whatever you guys want to call it, third round, first gun round, whatever the case is. I think Astralis is a more consistent team, a little more solid. FaZe can, as you've seen, they're sometimes up and down, but with the addition of Nico, could change a little bit. But I do feel like Astralis was just still the better team, but FaZe just was on fire, and Kerrigan just wanted to win more than anything probably ever against his old team. So I'm going with Astralis on a more consistent basis.
Because of your more consistent basis. I will also side with the Astralis answer. So, Thorin, congratulations. You get that point. Let's move forward. There's still vENdetta. I feel like you look like you're gonna say like I've been wronged. This is not fair.
I definitely have. First off, I nobody told me there was a rapid fire round. That was just leading me behind the shed, just giving me the old yeller.
The old yeller, huh?
Yeah.
God, that's pretty harsh. All right, check it out.
Are they just showing that over there in Norway now? That's like from the 60s? Is that
Dude,
you getting that
over
TV?
in Norway, he's only just got Eminem's fashion from the late 90s. He's wearing that same white hoodie hat. He's like,
Okay. Jesus. My God. I'm sorry, vENdetta. They didn't need to like verbally abuse you. Let's move on. Listen. Breakout star ladder performance. Team or player, doesn't matter.
Hellraisers.
Oh. Well,
take your time.
Well, can I pick a player from Hellraisers, or would that be?
You can do what you want, mate.
Actually, you know what? I'm gonna go crazy on this one. G2.
Okay. Well, I tell you what. 30 seconds on the clock, and Duncan, present your side first. Go.
Okay, well, Hellraisers, I actually don't know a single expert who had them even making the playoffs. And not only did they make the playoffs, then I don't know anyone who had them beating North. They beat North in a best of three. They then made it to top 4 at a $250,000 tournament. Like, that question you asked before, like, who's the worst team to make the playoffs of one of those? They are easily the worst team to ever make the top 4 of a $250,000 or more tournament. And I realized Cloud9's been in them. So they are absolutely did an incredible performance. No one could have expected. Meanwhile, vEndetta's team, if you think about it, they're a team where who did vENdetta even pick?
G2.
Okay, well, go ahead and tell me why, boy.
30 seconds. Hold up. 30 seconds on the clock. Okay. Get ready, vENdetta. Yeah. Get ready. On your mark. Any second now. Go, vENdetta.
All right. So the thing about picking G2 is simply because right out of the gate, you have a lot of expectations of that team, simply because it's a star lineup. It's a dream lineup that everybody's wanted to see coming out of France. What they did with that initially right off the bat is absolutely fuck all. They basically fumbled around in EPL for the longest of time, didn't do anything that would actually make you think that they resemble a top team. At best, you think like, oh yeah, these guys might be able to stay out of relegation this season. That's not impressive. That's not how you build any sort of expectations. So for them to actually come out at Star Ladder, go 3-0 in groups, actually make it through to the playoffs, and actually very impressive fashion. Not weak teams they beat either. They beat NIP on Inferno, which has actually been a decent map for them. They beat your Hellraisers, and also taking out SK on Overpass. For me, that's pretty fucking impressive, especially given how well they've actually gelled together. From being a complete fucking mess at the start to actually just coming together, and you can see that by how well Shox, Apex, and Ketty played together during that tournament.
Okay. Feels like there's some rebuttals needed for this one.
I don't know, man.
Maybe one each, maybe.
I don't know, DeBears. What do you think? Do we let them keep going at it? Yeah. You know what? I tell you what. Yeah, you both get until I tell you no. So Duncan, go first.
Okay, so vENdetta even just told you there that G2 beat Hellraisers. So the team that he picked beat my team, yet my team ended up going further in the tournament than his team. So already that's incredibly unexpected. Secondly, he says the expectations had died off for G2. You go and watch my show, Counterpoints, over on my channel with Moses. I picked G2 to make the playoffs exactly where they made it. So I'm obviously the number one CSGO expert. It's in my Twitter. It must be true. Donald Trump would have taken it out otherwise. But that hasn't happened. So what more do you need? Appeal to authority. I win.
I think minus points for self-acclaiming number one analyst in the world.
I think there's something about plugging your own YouTube channel. vENdetta, you know what? Go for it. Let me hear what you got for a rebuttal. Anything you want to say to this man? He attacked your hat.
I mean, he attacked my hat, but at least I have one, right? It's nice and warm. No, in any case, honestly, sure, yeah, they beat Hellraisers on one map. Hellraisers still made it further in the tournament. I think it's with the way Hellraisers have been playing, they've been fucking rocking it in EPL. They've been dominating. They 2-0 VP before coming into this tournament. Like, they've actually been playing well leading up to this. They've actually had some there's actually logical reason to think that Hellraisers would perform well based off of how they've actually done. Like, there's actual method to the madness.
Incredible. You'd be rich right now.
Well, here's the thing. I'm a sane man. I don't actually gamble like that. I don't bet. Because betting's bad.
Some would say that's not the case. Since you came on this show and you're getting slam dunked on, like when Ewing got wrecked by Pippin and you stepped right over him with his nuts all over his face. So that's gambling, if you ask me. What can I tell you?
Jesus.
Throwback to '93. Right? Throwback to '93.
If anything, you're Craig Elo. I'm MJ.
Right, he's just called himself marijuana live on air. That's not even person. That's just silly, Come on.
Yeah, I think that
the only guy who would do that would be Eric. Let's be honest.
No.
See,
It's our look. Come on.
Bez was thinking, I'm
natural. Natural, baby.
Hold up, everybody.
Sky's the limit.
Hold on. Give me a second. The Bears, bring it back down out of the clouds and tell us who your pick here is. Who you give the answer to?
They both have very strong points. I know Thorin and Hellraisers. Hellraisers wasn't unexpected to get as far, but as vENdetta mentioned, Hellraisers has been doing pretty well in the last, at least the last month or so, that they've been actually beating some of these good teams. And so I do feel like the people who had the G2 hype were the old fans usually, because a lot of people did give up kind of on G2, and it was. I think I'm leaning more towards G2 than Hellraisers, just a little bit though, just a fraction,
You know what? I'm also leaning the same way. We're gonna give the point to vENdetta, and you know why? Because I said so. That's why. That's how that works.
I can dig that.
But so far you're doing well for not knowing there's a rapid fire round. That's pretty impressive. Let's move on to our next question. Who ends the year with more titles, FaZe or Astralis?
Astralis.
FaZe.
All right. So we got some consistency in our arguments. That's already a good sign. Let's get 30 seconds on the clock and give it to Mr. vENdetta. Go ahead. Take it away.
All right. So already we're seeing Astralis getting to the point where, sure, yeah, they're placing consistent top four, but they've already started losing finals. FaZe on their end, they're on the different side of the trajectory. They're going up. As if Astralis, they've kind of met their match at this point. They've met their rival, the Goku, that's going to take them down pretty much. FaZe is pretty much the kryptonite of Astralis. So if they ever run into each other at any given point, it's going to be, favored for the multinational team. It's just how it is. You saw it now just this weekend at Star Ladder. I think, there's not really any chance that Astralis has on it. As FaZe gets more time together, they're going to actually expand their map pool. They're going to improve at a much quicker rate, more than likely than Astralis will. Astralis kind of reached their peak already by winning the major.
Nice. Duncan, I can see you getting antsy. 30 seconds on the clock. Take it, Duncan.
Okay, so Astralis haven't reached their peak. Like, their map pool gets better and better. They expand it even further. Now they're really good on Nuke. They're good on Inferno, the new edition. They won the major, and they've made top four of every single tournament. In fact, they've only once failed to make the final. And when they make the final, they've obviously won a bunch of the tournaments. They won 2 out of the 3 finals they were in, or something along those lines. So easily the most consistent and easily the most impressive team in the world. Then you've got to add in, even in FaZe's best ever run, winning every pistol, having Hiko go off, having everything work for them. The FaZe guys were still facing championship point for Astralis, and Astralis could have beaten them. So it's going to happen later on in the year. Astralis will be the best team.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to give a point to DeBears for that solid pour he made right there mid-question. I heard it trickle into the glass, but it was just so, smooth and incognito. It was nice at the same time. So the
Wait, did
Bears,
you give him a point for that?
hell yeah, we gave him a point for that.
Damn.
That's right. That's how we do it over
That's
here.
how we feel. I might give him 5 more points right now. That's how it works around here. Now check it out. The Bears, who you feeling right here, man?
Well, I know FaZe is good, but Astralis, their core players have been top of the game for a year. They were predicted to win championships way long time ago last year and beyond. And, they're hitting their stride. As Duncan said, they're literally top 4 every single tournament. They are the team to beat. And at this point, they're already on a good start. FaZe just won their first championship. And now they still have to play catch up to Astralis. And I think Astralis is a really, really solid team. Even if they don't win tournaments, we expect them top 3 every single time at this moment, just the way they played and their style.
I think you're right. I think this one has to go with Duncan. I really do. Sorry, vENdetta. I think you can agree. You just got to be quicker on the draw there, bud. But you're doing great.
You know what? I'll just put it out there. Duncan mentioned Astralis being top 4 at every tournament.
Yeah.
Every tournament with Nico, FaZe has been top 2.
Okay.
Whoa.
Listen, vENdetta, don't get salty that for once I found a niche in life where finishing first actually is rewarded.
Well. All right. This one's a little more. This next question, at least, is a little further away from the teams and the competitive play. But I mean, more so much.
Here we go.
What current or former map do you want to see played more?
Tuscan.
Okay.
That's a hot topic.
Let's see. Go with. I think I'll go with Overpass.
Okay. So 30 seconds on the clock, and vENdetta will be getting it first. Go ahead, vENdetta.
All right, so obviously you want to bring back Tuscan. It's one of the most iconic maps you've had in CS. It's created some of the best games, some of the most amazing highlights that we've seen in history. Obviously not in CSGO because we haven't had the opportunity to actually have that be a part of our map pool. But if you go back to either CSS, 1.6, what have you, you can actually see that map being highlighted at every tournament. It's the favorite map of pretty much any pro player at any given time after its release. It just has so many qualities to it. It's also a unique map layout that just lends itself to solid gameplay, diverse gameplay, and also creativity. And I think that could just add a whole new dimension to a lot of cool CS games. Like, it'll innovate the game how we see it. It'll create new tactics, new strategies, and potentially new super teams in the sense on those maps. So you'll have jokers in that sense for tournaments, which is really cool.
Well, that's interesting. Eric, what you got?
I mean, I like. Wait.
So we had wait, go ahead. We had vENdetta for Tuscan. We had Thorin for Overpass.
Let's go Thorin.
Just hardcore, give it to Thorin. Like, that's just how it works. No favorites
right
around here.
No.
None at all.
Like Duncan should actually be allowed to say something.
I forgot. Like, I haven't heard of Tuscan so long, and try to remember the map, and it's still
It's
CPL
basically
Mill.
CPL Mill. It's
Dude, I
basically
love
CPL Mill,
that
but
map.
better.
I love
Yeah,
I like Tuscan. I miss Mill. I wanted to bring it back, but
okay, I just played you all because I didn't even get a chance for my 30
but
seconds to
that's what
answer.
I'm
So I now
saying,
know
like-
what Bears is going to say, and so now I can play with that. So let's start the clock. So the reason why I picked Overpass is because Overpass actually allows all elements of tactical play. You see those fast Tech 9 smoke molly attacks onto the B site. On the A site, you see the slow tactical build-up with probing and information plays. Meanwhile, Tuscan is not the same as Mill. It's actually the exact polar opposite. It's the same layout, but actually some key differences made it T-sided, whereas Mill was CT-sided, you remember, Bears? That's a problem. T-sided maps like that, like Dust 2, tend to be very gimmicky, just only based on individual skill. In 1.6, it just became a map where CTs had to rush to get the kills. Not very good play overall. Therefore, Overpass pretty much went over your heads, passed by the judges, and was awarded the victory.
Well, I'm not going to say. I'll let Trace talk because it's not my turn. It's not my turn to talk until he says it's my turn to talk.
I don't want to say that. Anyway, look, Duncan, vENdetta, I tried really hard to get you a smooth win in there real quick. But it just turns out that Duncan's just a little sharper than I thought he was. But I I got a reference now that we know Duncan's side. The Bears, what are you thinking? I mean, I'm feeling that Tuscan pick.
Well,
Feeling it.
I know overpass is. I think it's overplayed. No, I'm just kidding. But it's played a lot in tournaments. I don't think it needs to be played more. I like the amount of overpass been played. It's a little bit, but I do. I've been talking to people. I've heard talks of Mill. I've heard talks of Tuscan. Last couple of weeks, and it's got me like a little bit more excited that. Like I would like to see Mill or Tuscan back. Yes, as Thorin says, it probably could be T-Star at first, but we could always make tweaks. This isn't the direct port from 1.6 or source or whatever to here. You got to tweak a little bit, make it even for the CS:GO engine. But I like the idea of Tuscan. I mean, I miss Mill. That was one of my favorite maps back in the day. A lot of good memories.
Bears' old classic motto: got to tweak a little bit.
Got to tweak a little bit,
You mate. You got to exactly.
You got to tweak a little bit.
Whoa,
wait,
relax.
Whoa.
Good
You got to get wet, right?
PG-13.
Yeah, I understand.
Well, I mean, I'm still leaning towards vENdetta. That's the way it's got to go. And that's just the way it's going to be. But it's like I said, man, I try to get you a smoother victory in there, vENdetta, but unfortunately, that's not how the cookie crumbled. Okay, so let's head to another question. We actually have maybe. Okay, what weapon should be nerfed?
Tech 9.
I'll go ahead and say. I'll say the P250 actually.
Okay, so let's see if we can do this right this time. 30 seconds on the clock. We're going to go with vENdetta first. vENdetta, take it.
All right, so Tech 9 is one of, obviously you just allowed us to pick one, so I'm just going to pick one of the ones I hate the most, which is the Tech 9. It's been an overpowered weapon for the longest of times. It's still one of those one headshot pistols that are absolutely ridiculous for $500. They consistently ruin good gameplay by just having shit rush strategies, being rewarded time and time again. It's not necessarily, the fact that it's a benefit of, you being able to have solid, crisp aim because you only have X amount of bullets to work with. No, you've got 32 fucking bullets to just spray willy-nilly all over the entire fucking map. And hey, it even has penetration through some objects, right? That's fucking amazing.
So do I.
What a weapon.
You're not getting enough mace.
But let's be honest, Duncan, you cost more than $500.
Hey.
True, it's also mainly cantaloupes.
Wow. All right. So please, Thorin, 30 seconds on the clock and you do your thing, man.
Okay. So as usual, I'll rules lawyer and say that the question won't be nerfed. So in all levels of play, the Tech 9's fine actually. Most low-level players are pretty bad with the weapon. Costs $500, which is a decent investment for them. You also can't aim it properly, so it can't ever be ungodly OP and like wreck everyone. Meanwhile, the P250 is very cheap. It's also a weapon where if you just go point blank and you can just one click ahead, you kill someone in a way that an M4 can't with one bullet at the same range. So it actually has an incredible niche for one of the lowest price points in the game. And what's more, you get a free set of steak knives if you say yes, Stunner.
Yeah. That's it. All right. Well,
Okay.
So the winner.
That seals it.
All right, Eric, what you got, man?
Both valid points. And the problem with Tech 9, why I think it has to be a little more nerfed than a P250 is because the T's economy is already really cheap. The Tech 9 adds it more value, and the one-shot kill for Tech 9, I believe, is a little farther than the P250 because both pistols can one shot, one kill. But I feel like Tech 9 just more BS in it. Like I just feel like it's just it's too ridiculous. And with the T side low economy, how low the AK is and stuff like that, it's so detrimental for the CTs.
Can I just say that honestly, neither me or Duncan deserve a point for this one because none of us chose the UMP.
That's true.
No one chose the UMP, and there might even be an argument or a case made for the 5.7.
Okay, Stunner, yeah. I just want to say my little piece, which is that I do think I deserve a point. He's just said he doesn't deserve a point. That is what he said, and therefore I think I won. So, listen, if they concede, what can I do, mate? All I can do is get that motherfucking trophy. And then God made me like this. I didn't make everyone else a loser.
You're probably running out of wall space over there with all the trophies you've gotten off of.
I'm like Flusher, mate. And I did it legit.
Oh.
Hey-o.
When you throw in the legitimate part in there, it's
Yeah.
a little dicey. I tell you what,
I
this
didn't say he didn't,
actually,
but, yeah.
well, hey, that's up for the viewer to decide. Now, so with that being said, I mean, if my math's right, which I said earlier, I'm from Alabama. This is a pretty struggling number thing. This would be deciding who the winner is, I believe. So there's a little bit just more on the line here, right? In terms of the entire show, this would decide who the winner is. So, the Bears, I mean, are we sure we're feeling that? Like, are you sure you're feeling that?
I mean, it's we're splitting hairs at this point, and I think you have to split the hair towards the Tech 9 over P250. That's just my opinion, though. That's just my humble, dumb
Even
opinion.
though the guy who answered said he himself didn't think that the Tech 9 is the most overpowered weapon.
Well, compared to the 250.
Compared to the P250,
I didn't
it
ask you that,
definitely
DeBears. I just made that statement, which is completely factually accurate. So, I mean, let's just leave it at that. You know,
We don't
Why
deal
are
in
you gonna say what I'm
absolutes
gonna
here,
say?
okay? We're not Sith Lords. We do not deal in absolutes.
Okay.
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
man.
I'm just trying
Obviously, you don't like Sith because you're the bloody planet Alderaan, don't you? You get blown up for the first 10 minutes of the movie.
Yeah, well, at least I fuck.
Okay. See ya.
At least you got that. At least you do fuck. So that's good. Okay. Let's close this bad boy out. We got vENdetta with the Tech 9, and we got Thorin with the P250. The votes are coming in, and I do believe, if I'm reading right, I can read these numbers at least. Jesus. The crowd likes Thorin, and I personally, I'm going to have to side with Mr. Shields as well. Duncan, yet again, somehow, you've done it.
Okay. Well, yeah.
And I would let you give your shout outs, but we're going to do that as sort of you're the winner type thing. I think the winner gets to say their shout out, then we'll go down the list. So please tell us your YouTube, tell us your Twitter, tell us it all. Let's hear it.
My only shout out is going to be this. First of all, thanks to the fans because they picked the right man, just like they did in the American election in November. They knew what they were doing. They elected the only person capable of the job. And then finally, I just want to say that never should vENdetta have been allowed to win anyway, because actually, I didn't pick him to even go into the playoffs. So under all circumstances, it should have been Bears playing against me, saying things like, at least I fuck. And so I should have won anyway. So in all possible universes, even if this is a simulation, I won. For some reason, I get simulated as the winner every time.
Simulated as the winner every time. vENdetta, please tell us your piece.
I mean, heartbroken having to go away from here with a loss. Definitely that's coming back to you, Trez, later today. So should just wait for that.
By? Okay. Yeah.
No, just thank you for having me on. It was a good time.
It's a good time. Don't worry, we got catering later, so it's cool, vENdetta. We'll smooth that over. DeBears, please give us some of your knowledge for Lamborghinis.
Just like the Americans, we pick our president. We thought we knew what we were doing, and we regret it. So hopefully we don't regret this. And picking Thorin as the winner. Thank you, everybody, for the support. One of these days, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I believe it. I believe in myself. Keep on practicing. Keep on trying hard. I appreciate it. That's it. That's all I got.
All you got. Well, I have thoroughly enjoyed you guys. As always, I enjoy this show. Somehow I wish someone would come on here and actually just body Thorin, but I don't think we found that person in esports yet. If you think you're that person, you can tweet at me, you tweet at Media ESA, you tweet at Esports Arena. But the people you can also thank for the show, Joe Cardali and Garrett Bambro, you guys know those guys. You can thank them for some of their creative writing and their cool stuff they're doing behind the scenes. Obviously, I hope you guys have enjoyed it. We hope to keep doing these things, whether they're live or not. It's all up in the air. If you guys like them live, we'll see what we can do with that in the future. Other than that, I'll make the $1 million check right now to Thorin after the show. And I will be seeing you guys later. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next time.